What do you think about putting exercise information on food and drinks labels? So, for example, if you had a can of fizzy drink, it might say that you would have to run for 13 minutes to burn off that can of drink. Or if you had a standard size bar of chocolate, you would have to run for 22 minutes to burn it off. Would it actually be an incentive for you? Do you think it would help you to think twice about what you're eating? Would it make you go for a lower calorie food, or would it have no effect at all? I think this sort of labelling also would be dependent on whether a person is naturally very active or not active. So, for example, if a person isn't active and not interested in getting active, it might encourage a what the heck attitude. For example, if something says that you would have to run for 30 minutes or walk for 60 minutes to burn off something, that person might think, oh, what the heck, I'm not going to do that exercise, so I might as well eat it anyway. Or if somebody is highly active, they might think, oh, well, I can eat this food because I'm going to burn it off easily today. But it might have no nutritional content. It might be high in sugar and not providing many nutrients. I wonder what the food manufacturers would think of this, especially because they produce a lot of supersized foods. You can imagine how much exercise and how long you'd have to exercise if it was a supersized food. They might be reluctant to do this. However, it might also encourage food manufacturers to come up with and produce lower calorie foods. So would it be an incentive for you, or would it not? Would it be a disincentive? I think also it's important to not get too hooked on calories. I think the main consideration when we're making food choices is the nutritional content. Does it provide you with the nutrients that you need? Yes, calories are important, and a lot of foods these days, especially processed foods that we buy, can be very, very calorie dense. So it's very important for us to be calorie aware. And this could just be one extra tool to help us to think about just how energy dense foods are, and also just how much exercise we might need to do to burn that food off, because I think it's easy to underestimate how much exercise we would have to do in order to burn off a food or drink. So I would really like to know what you think about this idea. I think also, again, it's very depends on the individual, because depending on your height, your gender, your size, that information on the label may or may not be accurate. So that's another thing to consider. So I think in many respects it could be an incentive, but again, it depends on the individual. And recent research has shown that this PACE labelling, PACE, so physical activity and calorie equivalent, this PACE labelling has been shown that although the results are variable, this PACE labelling, when given to people compared to not giving any label information, has helped people, encouraged people to select and eat less calories. So there could well be a place for it. Obviously, there's only so much information you can put on a label, so that's another thing that would need to be considered. But I would like to know if this would be an incentive for you or not. And I would love for people to put some comments below, which I can read, just to get an idea of what the general feeling is about putting exercise information on food labels.